Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is HeroQuest, and today I want to look at Game Mastery cards. Game Mastery cards are a game system agnostic set of cards, in this case, individual decks of 54 unique item cards. They have depictions of items on one side and ample space on the back for you to write your own descriptions and mechanics for each of the items that are shown. I got these from my not-so-local game store, mostly at the listed price here of $6 USD, 99 cents. One of them, I think Legacy of Fire here, I got for $1 once the cards had sat in clearance for so long that they eventually moved to the dollar box. Ah, the dollar box. You'll notice a couple of things here. One, my beautiful dungeon mat from Ian Schofield, who was kind enough to send me this mat. I have another video on that, but it makes an excellent backdrop, so it's probably going to stick around for a long time in the videos. And of course I have some miniatures scattered about. I wanted a wider camera angle for this video. I don't like how it shows off my mounting system, so can't really stick with this exactly, but I will use the extra space for this one. I feel like I was looking a little too zoomed in. And before we begin, it would be very helpful to the channel if you just watch the video. That's it. YouTube punishes videos that don't get a lot of watch time. Moving on. These Games Master sets are named, and as far as I know, there are more of them, but these are the only 3 that I have acquired. This is Kingmaker. This looks to be our predominantly Western fantasy-styled deck. We then have Jade Regent, which is Far Eastern-styled items. And then we have Legacy of Fire. This is going to be a lot of Middle Eastern stuff. And these are very similar in how they're presented, and of course with the descriptions on the back of each card. We're going to get an instruction card as well with each of these. It kind of explains at least a suggestion on how to use them. But these are for use with any fantasy role-playing game. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we can use these with our favorite tabletop dungeon crawlers. So let's begin. We're going to break open Kingmaker first. I'll read the description on the back. Tame the wilderness and forge your kingdom with these weapons of heroes and regalia of rule, treasures and tools to raise an empire, wait to be claimed in the Kingmaker adventure path. This 54-card set of beautifully illustrated full-color item cards allows you to track your newest and most lordly treasures in vibrant detail. These were published by Paizo, and there may be more contemporary cards than these. I think that these are fairly old now. Yes. This is copyright 2010, so these have been around a hot minute. And I got my hands on them a while back, but I haven't really paid much attention to them until today. The first card we will see talks a little bit about this system. Start handing out real treasure. Game Mastery item cards depict commonly unearthed magic items suitable for use with any fantasy role-playing game. Each card features original art and space for its own unique code, allowing the Game Master to keep a log of vital statistics about each item, such as its value, history, and hidden powers. The back of each card includes a description and space for the players to track what they know about the item. We're going to get this card with each of the sets, so we won't read it over again, but you'll see that these cards have consistently art and a title on the front, as well as publishing information. This will kind of tell you what system this is from, what deck rather. This is a small picture of a crown symbol for Kingmaker. So if you ever need to part these back out, put them back into their decks, you can do that. So the hide armor, there's our first one. Try to angle that so the glare's not in the way. And then on the back, you get a little bit of flavor text that comes free with the card, and then you have ample space for notes. You can put whatever you like here, such as, how does the hide armor work? Is this just going to be +1 defend die if we're using this with HeroQuest? Is it going to be an extra sword, or rather, Dark World doesn't use that sort of defense system. They use cards so that you can dodge the attacks. Anyway, hide armor. This goes on to include bedroll, holy symbol, so we have items here that could serve as artifacts, helm, and I'll separate these into categories while we kind of look. Holy symbol, that's another holy symbol, but the style is different from the first one. So this gives you the ability to have multiples for a set. Ladder, this is a utility item. Ram, rations. Saw, this is a rather dangerous looking implement. However, it could be used as a tool instead of a weapon. So I'll put it with the tools. This is the sextant, a way to navigate. The skiff, this is just a whole transportation method. The tent. The potion. Another potion, visually distinct. A ring. And another ring. A rod. We are finally getting into more weapon-like items. Another rod. A scroll. Different scrolls. These can go with the holy symbols in my book. The staff. The wand. Lots and lots of items for magic users. I love that. The blowgun. You know, this could arguably be used for a magic user as well. It's not heavy. The bow. The club. Dagger. Great sword. Now we're getting into where I would love to write on the back +3 skulls, +3 attack dice. The scythe allows you to attack diagonally, I would say. The sickle. The spear. The spiked gauntlet. The warhammer. Ah, yes. Acorns. A bit of an oddity here and there with these cards. You'll see stuff like this. Acorns, really? But, you know, you could use them. Boots. Brooch. This one's got a frog motif. A cloak. A crown. 2 different crowns. Something called dust. This is just Dale Gribble's pocket sand. This is just something you throw to confuse your enemy. I've given up on the sortation. Flower. Gown. Not only can you use this stuff for equipables or consumables for the heroes, or even key items, you can use these as like clues. Just per quest. Herbs. The lyre. A map. Mistletoe. This is your Christmas special. Another robe. A rug. A siege engine. This is quite different than the rug. A skeleton. Just absolutely different things. A skull. This is a mono eye skull. That's extremely interesting. Full plate and a token. So right there is the collection of Kingmaker. Just on the token, I'll read the flavor text. Carved from teak, this token embodies a perfect fall leaf. I want to read the flavor text for the Warhammer. Spiked metal bands wrap around the ends of the massive oaken head of this Warhammer. Yeah. So, easily, these are new artifact, equipment, and treasure cards that you could add into your HeroQuest game. They are also easily weapon cards that you could add to your Dark World game. Weapons work a little bit differently in Dark World. They're a bit similar, actually. You do roll an extra die once you find your legendary weapon, but the dice are a little bit different. You either miss completely, you attack with 1, or you attack with 2. So getting a powered up weapon in Dark World means that you have the potential to score an extra 2 body points worth of damage to the monster that you're attacking. HeroQuest, that means the same thing. You got a 50% chance of scoring 1 hit on the enemy, or you can assign some of these weapons to use different colored dice. And the different colored dice sometimes have different distributions, or rather they're always going to have something different, but they'll either have different distributions, which in this case there are more skulls on this black die than there are on a white die at the cost of 1 white shield. There's only 1 white shield on the black die, courtesy of HeroQuest on Etsy and Floris. So shout out to Floris for that set of dice. There are also dice, such as my poorly painted homebrew orange dice that have not only a different distribution, but outright new symbols like 2 skulls on one face. And some of these weapons could absolutely fall into that category where they use a different color of dice. This is a homebrew application and isn't something that's officially available, but Florist does have multiple sets of dice up on HeroQuest, so I would check that out. I'm trying to make my own so that I can more closely match the German dice colors I've seen for HeroQuest, but that's a tangent that I'm not going to get into right now. We'll look next at the Jade Regent. Claim the riches of the Eastern Empires with these mystical treasures and masterfully crafted weapons. The wealth of magical and mysterious realms awaits discovery in the Jade Regent Adventure Path. This 54-card set of beautifully illustrated full-color item cards allows you to track your newest and most elegant treasures in vibrant detail. So, we'll rip open this box. And this could be really useful with the upcoming Path of the Wandering Monk expansion in HeroQuest. Just to homebrew a bunch of equipment and weapons for the heroes and items as they potentially travel in your homebrew campaigns to the eastern lands. We've got the Terracotta Warrior, the tea set, the String of Coins, the Royal Seal, a palanquin, map, lantern, kimono, kabuto, a special type of helmet, jingasa, a special hat, a jade statue, fireworks, a fan, chopsticks, a box, an eastern box, bonsai tree, a banner, wakizashi, a 3-section staff, shangham. There's going to be a mix, I would say, across various Eastern cultures as far as this stuff is concerned. I've seen stuff that's Chinese, I've seen stuff that's Japanese. Different countries, different cultures, all in the same set, kind of generalized. So keep that in mind if you're going to use these for your campaign. You might not care, you might care enough to separate some of the cards out and follow a specific path. I would use them all. I would just lump them all together. Shuriken, Sai, Nunchaku, Nodachi, the 9-ring broadsword, Naginata, the longbow, Kusarigama. I love this. This is essentially what I would say my assassins from Rise of the Dreadmoon have. The katana, kama, the great club, dagger, the butterfly sword. I don't know why it's called that. It's enormous. The scroll, a potion, another potion of a different style, the wagon, the umbrella, smoke pellets, the samisen, or the shamisen as I've seen it called, sake, an alcoholic beverage, ninja outfit, holy symbol, a cricket in a cage. This is a kid's book. I've read this before. Climbing claws. I love this one. A calligraphy kit. Silk armor. Samurai armor. Again, I would use things like the calligraphy kit as quest items, things that have to be returned to their rightful owner because they hold some import or perhaps serve as clues to a crime that was committed. The mirror armor. The leather armor. Lamellar. This is a specific type of armor made and used in feudal Asia. Kikko. Domaru. Alright, that's the Jade Regent, and then we'll just pop right over into Legacy of Fire. This one ought to bring to mind Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, Aladdin, The Little Prince, all of the tales told in the 1001 Nights, or they could be very region agnostic and just very generalized for use in any campaign, such as the sling. Nunchaku make their way here as well. The punching dagger, the great axe, the kopesh, the falchion, the scimitar, the wand, A couple of variations of the wand. The staff, the scroll, the potion, a holy symbol. Looks like we get those no matter what deck we're in. Scroll, rod, ring, another holy symbol, the goggles, monkey, just monkey, chariot, water skin, hookah, cactus, camel, just a camel, a straight up camel, key, palanquin, ring, this is a ring of fire, gem, heavy shield, padded armor, chainmail, another ring, a potion, a fez, slippers, a bottled city, an entire city in a bottle, the context of which could be completely up to you. This is either a real city that has been magically placed inside of a bottle, or it's a model. Vest, helm, charm, love that charm, bracers, veil, mirror, turban, map, carpet, lamp, cafetier, sitar, lovely musical instrument, I love the sitar sound, egg, drum, longbow, madu, I haven't seen this before, and the goad, and our instruction card. So with this set, I would say let us imagine that we want to use these cards with a campaign for HeroQuest. I would absolutely take all of your equipable things and set them to the side. The rest of these items are really, really great if you want to implement a role-play system. So I would probably have your heroes be able to search rooms for treasure, or be able to give them pieces of treasure at specific points during a quest, perhaps found in a chest or given out as a mandatory reward during or after the quest. And I would have the heroes either draw specifically from this deck, or I would create a custom deck with different cards from this at your discretion, and then have the heroes draw from that. And what they get is what they get. But if you make it possible for them to get something like the holy symbol, the context you'll have to completely make up on your own. Is this a key item? Does this unlock something? Is this the objective item? Is it what you need to finish the quest? Is it a piece of equipment that has its own set of properties that either add to your attack or defense, or keep you safe from some sort of status ailment? These are all possibilities with this card, as well as with anything that you can wear, such as the ring. For things like the rod, you can homebrew these weapons, as many, many others have for a long time now, and give your heroes diagonal attacks, attack up to 2 spaces away, attack around corners, attack over furniture, create specific magic cards that go hand in hand with these weapons and are triggered whenever these weapons are used as an attack. For things like the scroll, you can allow any of your heroes to use a specific spell just one time. Perhaps it is a spell that they can choose for themselves whenever they find the scroll, or you have assigned which spell it is. Perhaps it is a dread or chaos spell. The sling, ranged weaponry that your heroes can use. Perhaps the sling has to use rocks and your heroes have to gather the rocks as they go through the dungeon. Or perhaps it's weaker, as it should be, than the crossbow, and therefore does not require an additional ammo component. You just are able to use it whenever. The punching dagger, the great axe. This is a pretty powerful weapon. Perhaps it is strong against specific types of enemies, and rather than very strong against everybody all the time. The potions can kind of do whatever you want, but I'm most interested in those items that could be used as roleplay items, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Here are a bunch of cards that look like they should have a pretty specific context. You've got a straight up monkey here. There's also goggles, the chariot, the hookah, the cactus, the camel. These are all things that could provide the heroes with a roleplay element, something with which they could attempt to perform feats. So when they find the chariot, perhaps the hero wants to use the chariot. Well, you could either develop an entire system of mechanics that revolve around the chariot, or the usage of any sort of land vehicle system, such as the camel, or in the other deck, the skiff, and apply it to those land vehicles. Or you could have the hero describe what exactly it is they would like to do once they get this. Do they want to ride the chariot down a dungeon corridor, just run right through and over any enemies that stand in their way? If so, go ahead and roll a combat die, and on a skull you will do exactly that. It looks like that's exactly what happened. You get on the chariot and you ride it down the corridor, and then Zargon gets to say, well, now that you've done that successfully, there is one catch. The chariot has run into the wall because it was unstoppable and it is now unusable. The hookah, this could be something that is either used by the hero. I would think that it would be very bad to use this in the middle of a quest. Your barbarian is now super relaxed. Or they could place it somewhere, leave, and monsters could come by and use it and put them in a state that's easier to exploit. This is a bit of a strange one, but you could find ways to use it. I would probably use it as a key item, return this to its owner, and the owner will reward you. Sort of a side quest. The cactus, you pluck this from its corner in a dungeon, and now you can use it. You can actually hit a monster with it, or you can throw it, or you can set it down onto a tile, and it'll work a bit like caltrops. The monster moves onto it and has to stop immediately, and they just end their movement there. The goggles, perhaps they let you see into an adjacent room without opening the door. Perhaps you see where specters could be on the board. The palanquin and the chariot are actually fun ideas, I think. You could get all of your heroes together by using this item. Roll double sixes, say, and just transport all 4 heroes, and that is both your movement and your action for that one hero that turn. Now the other 3 heroes get to jump out of the now unusable palanquin? I actually don't know how to say that. I'm gonna look it up. And they can take their turns as normal. This could be a very useful item if you utilize it that way, and if one hero is willing to kind of take one for the team and get their party moving far away quickly. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please comment anything that you'd like down below. Is there a sort of RPG agnostic set of items that you use with your games? And because I knew this one would take a while, I held off on reviewing the Pathfinder cards, which I also have several decks of. We'll be looking at those in a future video. Please look forward to it. All right, thanks again, guys. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, onward, brave heroes.